Hello everyone, this is xBIGALSKIx.
And JTB.
And since Xbox One decided to release Ninja Gaiden Black, its updated version, I decided to update some of my old videos. It's been over 10 years since I made my last Ninja Gaiden Black video, so along with my good buddy JTB, we're going to have some fun doing some commentary.
I can't believe it's been that long, man.
Yeah, it has. It's crazy.
You were the smart one. I carried on.
But the purpose...
I let this game keep hold of me.
Well, the purpose of this series is, I want to show some of the updated techniques, but it's not going to be a full-blown karma run. What I'm going to do is go through each difficulty of the game and make all the time limits. And that's one of the challenges. I mean, people can skip fights all they want. They can run away. They can wall jump. They can flying swallow their way through the game. But the game's a lot more than that. And, that's what I want to show. And so that's hopefully what we're going to do.
I think more so it's interesting as well, the lower difficulties, especially when you're newer to the game, to go through them and make all the time limits is actually a lot harder than most people think.
Oh yeah, one of my friends, he finished very hard and he wanted to, what can I do before I start into Master Ninja? What's a difficulty, a hard, difficult challenge for me to do? And I said, go make all the time limits on normal. And he quit after chapter 2. He said, it's just too much. It's something I don't want to do. So we're going to go through this and, show everything. A lot of it's going to be like a karma run, but it's not going to be a full-blown. I mean, you have to chain essence, you have to UT in order to make some of these time limits. I mean, you just have to do it.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of time limits, actually, especially on normal and hard. Once you get past hard, you definitely get into the more generous time limits, but for the most part, normal and hard, they have some of the strictest time limits in the entire game. You'll see it even in this chapter, there's some pretty strict ones, and it's only the first chapter of the game.
And the reason I show this flip here is because that makes the bird spawn right up here at the top. You can drag that essence or get it to respawn and drag the essence all the way up to the trapdoor room. So I do that one other time in the video, but I did want to explain that here at the beginning of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much a staple of karma running too, knowing how to manipulate your environment. It's one thing that is something that most people might not think about early on. They kind of focus on the enemies, but your environment, and I mean we've said it 100 times, but like your environment and your control over Ryu is perhaps like the most important thing when it comes to the combat.
Well, you can get 2 UTs here, but I started out with an ET because trying to get 2 UTs is pretty brutal. And it's something that, again, this is not about maxing the most UTs you can. It's about making the time limit. So you're going to see me miss a lot of points in terms of UTs, but I'm making the time limits, and that's what this is all about.
You can always get more points, but I think in hindsight, I don't know if you agree, but I think maybe like the degree to which like resetted karma runs eventually ended up at was maybe a little bit too much.
Right.
Thinking about it.
Well, the other part too about chaining UTs or doing a lot of UTs, because people say, oh, well, you just resetting till you get it right. Well, it's a lot harder than that. There's where I did that flip that made the crow start. I just skipped all of that scene. But also, doing UTs is really where your essence is at in terms of buying money, so you don't have to farm for essence. And I see a lot of people doing that.
Yeah, and it ties into the chapter time limits too. Again, like it kind of gets ahead of when you're new to the game, but when you really start looking at those chapter time limits and the kill limits and how the essence system works, you really kind of realize just how integral the game is designed around the UT system. Because if you were farming, if you say, for example, if you have to use your time to farm enemies to farm essence, you're going to fail the time bonus, and you'll make the kill bonus, but you won't make the time bonus. So
right.
It's just an interesting thing to keep in mind that way.
Well, also here, this white ninja here, if you don't get them fast and they start bouncing all over the place, it can really mess up your time. I mean, it hurt me a couple times not getting him at the very beginning. There's 3 of them that spawn, like right there. I didn't do my on landing because I thought I was going to hit the wall. So, stuff like that, again, simple mistakes right there. If this was a karma run, I'd already reset. But again, we're trying to make the time limit.
Yeah, and it's funny, even if you play it relatively safe, you'd be surprised how easily the game can like really creatively screw you over. For example, early on in this fight, I noticed that wind run, and you ended up right near the edge of the fight, like where you just went out, but on the other side. And I've had that happen where you wind run an enemy, and you jump out of the room just because of the angle you got, and you cancel the fight, and you think, oh man, that was going so well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Then you got to start over again, and it sucks.
Yeah, and you didn't do any you didn't do anything wrong, but you didn't get the optimal amount of points.
And again, I do want to stress that we're not going for the optimal amount of points. Like here, you can do 2 UTs on this, but again, I didn't want to mess with that. I'm fine with the ET and the UT to make my time limit and get some good essence, because I want to start getting my essence now. I'm going to upgrade my unlabored flawlessness, start working on that. So, all that stuff starts at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah, essence management's huge. One thing that was really interesting about that fight, I don't know if you remember, I remember the first time the Ninja Gaiden Sigma demo came out, and I went to forward Y one of them when they were on the downward slope, and he rolls down the stairs. Right. That really, I was like, whoa, wait, I can't get my UT now, what do I do? It really took me by surprise.
So again, some of this, UTs, I could have just ET'd through it and made a faster time, but again, as long as I'm making the time limit, however I make it, that's all that matters. And that's the point of this.
And with the basic kill bonus too, like, you also have to factor that in, because in the HP1 karma system, people might not know, but the kill bonuses are actually worth a lot more points. You got 5,000 per kill, so even if you could farm, it wasn't really worth it. Whereas in the black system, those kill bonuses are quite short in these early fights, so killing an enemy quicker versus a UT, that UT is always going to be worth more points in the long run.
Well, here on Mariah, I know a lot of people will wall jump, but basically get him to roll towards you, and then you can XY on landing Y. We'll talk about some of the terms in other chapters, but again, get him to roll XY on landing Y, or him dash at you. So that's it. We'll talk about it a little bit more. Man, it's already over with. But the time limit is 10 minutes. The kills are 53. This goes by fast. We'll try to answer a little bit more questions as we go on. So thanks for watching, guys.
See you next time, everyone.